Lifestyle Live. Come and see, you'll agree. There's a positive energy. Lifestyle Live.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Lifestyle Live Podcast.
Faces you know and a team you can trust. Stories that form your heart. Lifestyle Live. Lifestyle Live.
Well, she is helping us get clarity on our purpose. She wants us to experience soul healing, which I love, and be your most empowered self. Joining us right now is Jill Wintersteen with Spirit Daughter. Jill, good morning to you. And thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Thanks for having me.
Good morning. I love this different approach to being your most empowered self. What you do is something a little different, perhaps what people may not have heard of. So tell me what Spirit Daughter is and what you're all about, and helping us be who we really feel like we need to be.
Well, I believe that all of us should really be empowered to choose our lives, change our lives, follow our intuition, make our choices, decide our destiny. And so what I do is I harness the energy of the moon and I explain the different lunar cycles to people to give them really a blueprint or framework for these changes. Because I've encountered so many people that are like, I want to change my life, but they just don't quite know how or where to start or what to do. And so through following the cycles of the moon, you know, working with the new moon energy each month, working with the full moon energy each month, it really can provide this blueprint where, you know, you go through it every month, you know, around the same time. And eventually 6 months, 12 months down the road, it's like, wow, okay, those changes that I wanted to make, I'm now seeing in real life because I've done these like small incremental steps with the moon.
This is so interesting to me because some people who might be listening thinking, okay, with the moon, what are you talking about? So can you help us out here and describe like what the energy means and how this could potentially affect our everyday lives?
Yeah. So each month we have a new moon in a different zodiac sign. And that's what I write the workbooks around. And, you know, the new moon is this perfect time to set intention. So that's the time to sit down and say, okay, these are my dreams. These are my visions. This is what I want to see come into my life. This is how I want to feel in my life. So it's a time to really listen to your deeper desires, get clear about who you are, and not really do the work on the new moon, but just kind of set the stage and hold the space. And then as we make our way, you know, the moon then builds light. So the new moon is when we can't see the moon in the sky, right? It's the dark moon. The moon is aligned with the sun. So we can't see that phase, but then the moon like slowly builds light. And we've all seen it, that like beautiful, like half moon, and we get the Cheshire cat smiling.
Yes.
And the moon builds light up to the full moon every month. And, you know, most of us don't miss the full moon. We can see it every month, you know, coming in through our bedroom window at 3 a.m., waking us up. The full moon is really the time to do the work. That's the time to kind of sit with ourselves and say, okay, what is blocking me from these dreams, right? What shadows, what, internal ways am I sabotaging myself? How am I self-doubting? What am I doing that is blocking me from really changing my life, from manifesting these dreams, from creating these feelings that I want to have each day that I thought about on the new moon, right? So the new moon and the full moon work hand in hand. So every new moon we say, okay, this is the dream I'm trying to bring in. This is the vision. This is the life I want to live. And on the full moon, you say, okay, I can do this. I can live this life. You know, I just need to sort of work on these different aspects of myself, of my life. And so in the full moon,
sometimes people, they need to be led though, right? A little bit, just sometimes we need a little bit of help along the way and where to get started, and do the workbooks help us do that. Help us get started. I mean, especially in this post-pandemic, which we're still kind of going through it, kind of age to where maybe we want to get motivated to do different things, perhaps.
Yeah. So that's why I started writing the workbooks. I was doing this work with people in small groups in Los Angeles. circles, full moon circles. And I saw, and this was, years ago, pre-pandemic, but I saw it really changing people's lives. So I kind of took what we were doing and put it in a workbook that anybody can use. So the new moon workbook has journaling prompts that help you, figure out what you want to work with, like who you are, what do you really want? And then intention setting exercises that help you just, they're writing exercises. It's just like, okay, what do I want to see come to life? What do I want to change?
I love that. It's so interesting to me. What have you heard? Tell me some of like the stories from people that you've helped or you've talked to. You say that you've seen it change lives. How has that happened more specifically?
I've seen a lot of career changes. I always laugh and like, I'm responsible for a lot of people quitting their jobs.
Getting their new jobs.
But absolutely, like people because it's hard to take a leap like that because we depend on like a job for financial stability. And some people just take the leap, they do the work. I've had so many people. It was really funny. I was emailing with like a wholesaler, just emailing, like trying to set up a wholesale account, and the account rep emailed me back and she said, I actually have this job because of a workbook I did.
Really?
A couple months ago. I was sitting there, I was doing the work on the new moon. I realized I did not like my job. I wanted to do something different. And so I left my job. And then the next day I got this offer from the current job that she was in. She's like, it was my dream job. I absolutely love it. Yeah. And, it's because I like took this like leap because I realized through doing the workbook that incredible. I wanted to create this change in my life. So, it shines a spotlight on what's really not working. And it kind of, what I try and do, that's where the empowerment piece is really empower people to change their lives, to take that leap, maybe it's a job change, maybe it's a move. A lot of people have moved cities where they said, okay, I'm just not happy where I was. I didn't want to stay on the East Coast. So I moved to the West Coast where I'm happier. I've also seen a lot of relationships come to fruition because of the new moon where people get really clear. Cause a lot of times with relationships, especially in the dating world, it's like, I just want to find a partner who supports me. But through the new moon, you can get really, really clear, like, okay, what does that actually mean? Like, what do you actually want from a partner? What does support actually look like to you? What does it feel like to you? And you actually can take the steps to envision that. And then you end up like attracting and calling in and being attracted to that type of person that you really imagine.
I love how you talk too, because you do like tuning. It's basically like tuning into yourself and listening to yourself. You talk spirituality to accomplish your goals, but you also mention astrology. Can we talk about that for a second? Like, what do we need to know? What can we ask? I'm a Virgo, by the way. So what do we need to know?
So the workbooks that I write are based on astrology. So the new moon is always in an astrological sign, and that affects everybody. So our last new moon was in Pisces. And no matter if you were a Pisces or not a Pisces, we feel that energy of Pisces. So we can tune into that, which is going with the flow, which is, understanding the rhythm of life, trusting the process, surrendering to what is. So we can take these qualities that are governed by Pisces and we can apply them to our new moon intentions and journaling prompts and like what area we're looking at within ourselves. In a way, it's like if you do, all 12, you go around the year, all 12 new moons, you're working on these different aspects of yourself. So we're going into Aries season next. We'll have our new moon in Aries. And that's really about, okay, what does motivate you? What excites you? What do you want to get up in the morning? And what are you excited to do? What sort of lights your internal fire? And where can you find the courage to overcome obstacles or climb mountains that you need to in your life?
The reason I love this so much is because they're not all of us have the same type of personality. And for those people who are perhaps a little more inward and they don't always ask for help and they just don't know where to get started, it's like this template that is leading you along the way. And I think anything for self-improvement or allowing you to accomplish the goals that you set for yourself is always a good thing, right? It's always a good thing.
Yeah, it's always a good thing. And that's sort of what I tell people. Some people be like, well, I don't know if I quite believe in this, and I'm like, you don't have to believe in it for it to work, because these are things
that
everybody goes through, we all have to deal with courage. We all have to deal with motivation. We all have to deal with how to ground ourselves, how to find inner peace, which is governed by Taurus. So these are aspects of our personality, whether you want to, understand and the astrology or not, it's still an aspect of your personality. And this template allows you to work with each piece, in this fashion through all, 12 months.
Just like I said, you don't have to believe in it in order for it to work. That's a good line. Jill, where can we find more? Where could we find these workbooks?
You can find the workbooks at spiritdaughter.com.
Okay.
And you can follow along on the Instagram at spiritdaughter. And that's about it. You just have to remember Spirit Daughter.
Fantastic. I love it. Well, thank you so much for taking the time to chat with us this morning and giving us a little bit of insight on how to make a better you. We certainly appreciate it. And I hope to talk to you again soon.
Great. Thanks so much.
All right, Jill. Thank you.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
From the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Lifestyle Live Podcast. Thank you for listening. Be sure to like, follow, and subscribe to this podcast wherever you get your podcasts. And connect for even more on Facebook and at lifestylelive.tv.
Faces you know and a team you can trust. Stories that form your heart.